If God said congratulations, it is not because the world suddenly became kind to you. It is because you walked through something that was designed to stop you, and you did not disappear. Most victories in life are invisible. No applause follows endurance. No crowd gathers when you choose patience over reaction, discipline over comfort, silence over complaint. Yet these are the moments that shape a human being. Congratulations is not spoken to the loud, the lucky, or the praised. It is spoken to the one who stayed when leaving would have been easier, to the one who endured when collapsing would have been understandable. You must understand this clearly. Life is constantly testing you, but the tests rarely look like tests. They look like delays, disappointments, unfair treatment, loneliness, confusion, and exhaustion. They look like days where nothing makes sense and nights where the mind becomes heavy. In those moments, nobody tells you that you are being evaluated. There is no warning. There is no countdown. There is only a choice. Will you remain aligned, or will you abandon yourself? Most people fail not because they are weak, but because they are unaware. They think the pain is meaningless, so they waste it. But nothing is wasted in life. Everything is observed. In the Shaolin way, the student is never told when the test begins. The master watches how you sweep the floor, how you stand when tired, how you react when corrected, how you breathe when frustrated. The real test is not strength, it is character under pressure. Anyone can perform when conditions are perfect. Few can remain grounded when everything is uncertain. This is why congratulations carries weight. It means something has been seen. It means something has been measured. You may not even realize how close you came to giving up. Often the most dangerous moments do not feel dramatic. They feel quiet. They feel like numbness. They feel like asking yourself, what is the point? These moments are more decisive than any visible struggle. When anger comes, at least there is energy. When sadness comes, at least there is feeling. But when emptiness comes, that is the edge. If you stayed disciplined there, if you kept moving even without motivation, then you passed something most people never notice. God does not congratulate effort that is loud. He congratulates resilience that is silent. He congratulates the days you showed up without being seen, the nights you held yourself together without support, the moments you chose restraint when retaliation felt justified. The world rewards outcomes. Life rewards alignment. You may not have received recognition, but recognition was never the point. The test was whether you could remain whole while being stretched. You must stop underestimating what you survived. You think strength looks like domination, but true strength looks like stability. It looks like staying calm when chaos tries to enter your nervous system. It looks like keeping your word when nobody is watching. It looks like holding your posture when your mind is shaking. These things build something inside you that cannot be taken away. That is why congratulations comes now, not earlier. Earlier, you were still becoming. Now, something has solidified. Passing an invisible test does not mean life will become easier. It means life will become more precise. The margin for unconscious behavior becomes smaller. You cannot move the same way anymore. The tolerance for self-betrayal decreases. This is why some people feel pressure after growth instead of relief. They mistake pressure for punishment, but it is actually responsibility. When you know better, you are expected to live better. Congratulations is not permission to relax. It is confirmation that you are capable of more. Think about this carefully. If you had failed, you would not feel this moment. You would not be here listening. You would be distracted, numbing yourself, repeating cycles without awareness. Awareness itself is proof of passage. The fact that you can reflect, that you can feel the weight of time, that you sense something important is happening, means your inner eye is opening. That opening only happens after pressure. Comfort does not awaken humans. Resistance does. You were tested in ways that forced you to meet yourself. Not the image you present to others, but the version that appears when nothing is working. The one who doubts, who fears, who wants certainty before commitment. The test was whether you would let that voice take control. Discipline is not the absence of fear. It is action in the presence of fear. Faith is not certainty. It is movement without guarantees. You did not need to feel strong. You only needed to stay. Congratulations means you stayed. It means when the mind created stories of failure, you did not fully identify with them. It means when emotions tried to dictate behavior, you paused. Even if you stumbled, you returned. Returning is more important than never falling. In Shaolin practice, falling is expected. What is observed is how quickly you regain your stance. Life knocked you off balance, and you learned to adjust instead of collapse. That is mastery in its earliest form. Most people want transformation without discomfort. They want elevation without confrontation. But life does not work that way. Before something rises, it is compressed. Before clarity appears, confusion intensifies. The invisible test always comes before visible change. That is why many quit right before the shift. They interpret pressure as a sign to stop, when it is actually a signal to refine. You did not quit. That is why congratulations is deserved. Do not romanticize what you went through, but do not dismiss it either. Pain is not noble, but endurance is meaningful. You were shaped, not broken. And now, the structure inside you is different. You may still feel tired. You may still feel uncertain. That does not mean the test failed. Fatigue often follows deep adaptation. Muscles ache after growth. The mind needs time to recognize its new capacity. Understand this deeply. Life will not explain itself to you. It will not announce milestones. It will not validate your suffering with clear answers. The only confirmation comes through inner stability. If you feel less reactive, more grounded, more aware of your choices, then something has changed. Congratulations is simply acknowledging that change. Now comes the important part. Passing the test does not mean you are finished. It means you are trusted. Trusted with more influence over your own life. Trusted with deeper lessons. Trusted with sharper consequences. This is why awareness must increase. You cannot afford unconscious habits anymore. What once passed unnoticed will now cost you energy. What once felt harmless will now feel heavy. This is not punishment. It is refinement. You are entering a phase where intention matters more. Your thoughts carry more momentum. Your actions create faster results. This is why discipline becomes essential. Without discipline, growth turns into chaos. With discipline, growth becomes direction. God congratulates you because you have shown you can carry this weight. But carrying weight requires posture. If posture is lost, the same weight becomes injury. So stand correctly. Not physically only, but mentally. Align your values with your actions. Reduce unnecessary noise. Protect your energy. Do not explain yourself excessively. Do not seek validation for what you already know. The test you passed was internal. The life you build next must be intentional. Remember, congratulations is not emotional. It is precise. It is given when readiness is demonstrated, not when perfection is achieved. You are still a student. But now, you are a student who has proven commitment. That changes everything. You did not pass because you were special. You passed because you were consistent when it was difficult. That means this strength is repeatable. It is not luck. It is character. And character, once built, becomes a foundation that life itself respects. If nobody else sees what you survived, that is fine. If nobody applauds your restraint, that is fine. The universe does not operate on noise. It operates on truth. And the truth is this: you endured, you learned, and you stayed aligned long enough for something inside you to mature. That is why the message is simple and heavy at the same time. Congratulations. Not because the journey is over, but because you are no longer the same person who started it. Tomorrow being critical does not mean it demands more noise from you. It demands less. Most people misunderstand important moments because they think significance is proven through action. words, announcements, or visible change. They think a powerful day requires a powerful display. But in disciplined traditions, especially in the Shaolin way, the most important moments are approached with restraint. When something truly matters, you slow down. You become precise. You reduce excess, because excess is where mistakes are born. A critical day is not a stage, it is a mirror. It reflects how aligned you really are inside. Inner alignment means your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in the same direction. Most humans' lives divided. They think one thing, feel another, and do something completely different. This division drains energy. It creates inner conflict, and inner conflict weakens discipline. On days that carry weight, this division becomes dangerous. That is why silence is required. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is order. When you remove noise, you begin to hear what actually guides you. Noise is not only sound. Noise is unnecessary conversations, emotional reactions, mental overthinking, comparison, impulsive decisions, and external validation. On a critical day, every piece of noise pulls you away from your center. And when you are not centered, you are easy to influence, easy to provoke, easy to distract, easy to misalign. Shi Heng Yi often reminds that before you try to control the world, you must first control yourself. Control does not mean suppression. It means awareness with direction. On a day that matters, awareness must be sharp, not emotional, not rushed, sharp, like a blade that does not swing wildly but cuts exactly where intended. Many people wake up on important days and immediately consume information. Messages, opinions, news, social media, expectations. They fill their mind before they have even met themselves. This is a mistake. When you do this, you allow the external world to decide your internal state. Alignment requires the opposite. You must meet yourself first. You must decide who you are before the world tries to tell you. Inner alignment begins with posture. Not only physical posture, but mental posture. How you hold yourself when nobody is watching. How you breathe when nothing exciting is happening. How you treat ordinary moments. Critical days are not about extraordinary behavior. They are about extraordinary consistency in ordinary behavior. If you cannot be aligned in the small moments, you will not suddenly become aligned in the big ones. This is why discipline is quiet. It does not announce itself. It does not argue. It does not seek agreement. It simply does what must be done. On a critical day, discipline protects you from emotional decision-making. Emotions are not enemies, but they are poor leaders. They react to the present moment without understanding the long path. Alignment means emotions are acknowledged, but not obeyed blindly. You may feel excitement tomorrow. You may feel fear. You may feel pressure. None of these feelings are wrong. What matters is what you do with them. If excitement makes you reckless, alignment is lost. If fear makes you hesitate, alignment is lost. If pressure makes you rush, alignment is lost. Alignment means you remain steady regardless of internal weather. Think of a martial artist before a decisive movement. There is no unnecessary motion, no wasted breath, no dramatic expression. Everything is contained. This containment is not weakness. It is readiness. Power without control is chaos. Control without awareness is rigidity. Alignment is where power and control meet. On critical days, people often try to change too much at once. They set extreme goals, make loud promises, and demand instant transformation. This is ego disguised as motivation. True alignment respects timing. It understands that deep change is gradual and rooted. A tree does not grow faster because you shout at it. It grows because the conditions are correct. God does not ask for performance. He asks for sincerity. Sincerity is alignment between intention and action. If your intention is discipline, your actions must reflect discipline. If your intention is clarity, your actions must reduce confusion. If your intention is growth, your actions must accept discomfort. Anything else is self-deception. Noise is often used to avoid responsibility. When the mind is loud, you can pretend not to hear the truth. When life is busy, You can delay facing yourself. But critical days remove this escape. They ask you to stand still long enough to see where you are actually going. This is uncomfortable for many people. They would rather move incorrectly than pause and realign. Alignment requires courage. The courage to disappoint others. The courage to say no. The courage to be misunderstood. When you stop making noise, people may question you. When you stop explaining yourself, people may project their fears onto you. This is part of the test. Can you remain aligned without external approval? Shi Heng Yi teaches that freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. Freedom is the ability to choose what is right, even when it is difficult. On critical days, freedom is tested. Do you choose comfort or discipline? Do you choose distraction or presence? Do you choose reaction or response? A critical day magnifies consequences. Small misalignments feel heavier. Small disciplined actions feel more powerful. This is not superstition. It is focus. When awareness is high, cause and effect become visible. When awareness is low, life feels random. Alignment sharpens cause and effect. It shows you clearly that how you move matters. This is why you must treat tomorrow with respect, not excitement. Respect creates steadiness. Excitement creates instability. Respect slows you down enough to move correctly. Respect reminds you that you are part of something larger than impulse. Alignment also means letting go of what does not serve the direction you are walking. You cannot carry everything forward. Some habits, relationships, and self-images belong to an earlier version of you. Critical days make this obvious. If you ignore it, friction increases. If you accept it, movement becomes smoother. Silence on a critical day is not empty. It is full of intention. It is full of listening. Listening to your body. Listening to your breath. Listening to the subtle signals that are drowned out on ordinary days. When you listen, you adjust. When you adjust, you align. Do not confuse alignment with perfection. You will still make mistakes. You will still feel uncertain. Alignment is not about eliminating errors. It is about correcting them quickly. It is about not lying to yourself. It is about noticing when you drift and gently returning. Most people think alignment is something you feel. It is not. It is something you practice. Feelings come and go. Alignment is built through repeated choices. On a critical day, those choices matter more because they set the tone for what follows. If you wake up tomorrow and immediately rush, you teach your nervous system that urgency leads. If you wake up and breathe before acting, you teach your nervous system that awareness leads. This difference compounds. Life responds to posture. When you move with alignment, obstacles become instructions instead of enemies. God congratulates those who can be quiet under pressure. Because quiet under pressure means control. Control means trust. Trust means readiness. Tomorrow does not need you to be impressive. It needs you to be present. It needs you to be honest with yourself. It needs you to choose alignment even when nobody is watching. When you do that, the day fulfills its purpose. Not because something dramatic happens outside, but because something settles inside. And once something settles inside, the outside eventually follows. When congratulations comes from God, it is often misunderstood as comfort. People hear it as permission to relax, to slow down, to finally stop carrying weight. But in reality, divine congratulations is closer to a warning than a reward. It is not spoken at the end of responsibility. It is spoken at the moment responsibility increases. This is difficult for many to accept because the human mind seeks relief after struggle. But life does not operate on emotional contracts. It operates on readiness. In disciplined paths, acknowledgement is never the signal to rest. It is the signal that the next level has begun. When you are congratulated, it means something has been entrusted to you. Trust is not given lightly. It is given when your capacity has been observed and measured. But trust always comes with expectation. This is why people sometimes feel heavier after progress instead of lighter. They think something is wrong, but nothing is wrong. They have simply stepped into a space where their actions matter more. A warning does not mean danger in the sense of punishment. It means awareness is required. When a mountain climber reaches a higher altitude, the view is clearer, but the air is thinner. Every movement must be calculated. The same is true here. As your awareness increases, mistakes cost more energy. What you could once do unconsciously now demands intention. This is not cruelty, it is refinement. God congratulates you because you have shown that you can carry consequence. Consequence is not always negative. It is simply the law that actions now echo further. Your words influence more. Your habits shape you faster. Your inner state affects your outer reality more directly. This is why unconscious living becomes dangerous after growth. What once felt harmless now creates friction. What once passed unnoticed now drains you. Many people sabotage themselves at this stage because they misread the message. They think congratulations means the work is done, so discipline loosens, structure dissolves, old habits return. When that happens, life responds quickly and sharply, not out of anger, but out of precision. The higher the level, the clearer the feedback. This is where the warning aspect appears, not as a threat, but as a truth. You are no longer allowed to be careless with yourself. In the Shaolin tradition, when a student proves stability, the master does not reduce training. He increases it, not to punish, but to protect the student from stagnation. Stagnation at a higher level is more destructive than struggle at a lower one. When capacity grows, challenge must grow with it. Otherwise, energy turns inward and becomes frustration, ego, or confusion. Congratulations also means your excuses are becoming less valid. Earlier, ignorance could protect you. Uncertainty could justify hesitation. Now, awareness removes those shelters. You see more clearly, and seeing clearly demands action. To see and not act creates inner conflict. This conflict is felt as discomfort, anxiety, or restlessness. People often think something is wrong with them, but the truth is simpler alignment is being demanded. This is why congratulations feels heavy. It asks you to rise to what you already know. It removes the comfort of pretending you are not ready. You are ready. And readiness is a responsibility. The warning is also about ego. Growth can be intoxicating. Awareness can feel superior. Discipline can become identity. This is dangerous. The moment you believe you have arrived, you stop listening. The moment you stop listening, you begin to fall. Congratulations is not confirmation of arrival. It is confirmation of direction. Direction must still be walked. God does not warn with fear. He warns with clarity. The clarity is this: the margin for self-deception is shrinking. You cannot lie to yourself as easily anymore. When you do something misaligned, you will feel it immediately. The body will react. The mind will resist. The environment will reflect it. This is not punishment. It is guidance becoming sharper. Responsibility also means stewardship of energy. You cannot waste your time the same way. You cannot entertain unnecessary drama. You cannot overindulge and expect no consequences. Your system has been tuned. Like a refined instrument, it produces discord quickly when played incorrectly. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is precision. Some people fear this stage because they think it means constant seriousness. It does not. It means conscious living. Joy does not disappear. It becomes cleaner. Laughter becomes lighter. Rest becomes deeper. But indulgence loses its appeal. Chaos becomes uncomfortable. You begin to crave order not because you are forced to, but because it feels right. The warning also extends to how you treat others. Influence increases with awareness. Even silence influences. Even posture influences. You may not realize it, but people observe stability. They sense presence. When you are aligned, your behavior gives permission to others to either rise or resist. This means your responsibility is not only personal, it is relational. But this does not mean you must teach or lead explicitly. Leadership begins with embodiment. How you show up sets a tone. How you handle pressure teaches more than words ever could. Congratulations means your life is becoming a message, whether you intend it or not. This is why discipline must remain non-negotiable. Discipline is not restriction, it is protection. It protects you from impulsive decisions that no longer match your level. It protects you from ego-driven actions that create unnecessary suffering. It protects you from drifting back into patterns that once felt normal but now feel heavy. The warning is gentle but firm. Do not go backward unconsciously. If you choose to rest, rest consciously. If you choose to enjoy, enjoy consciously. If you choose to slow down with intention. Unconscious regression is what creates pain. Congratulations also means that guidance will become subtler. Earlier lessons may have come through strong events. Now, lessons come through small discomforts, inner signals, quiet resistance. You must pay attention. The volume decreases as sensitivity increases. Those who do not listen think they are being ignored. In truth, they are being spoken to softly. This is where many people feel lost. They expect signs to be dramatic. They expect direction to be obvious. But higher levels require listening between the lines. They require stillness. They require humility. If you can remain humble while being capable, you will move correctly. The warning is not meant to scare you. It is meant to prepare you. Preparedness reduces fear. Awareness reduces confusion. Responsibility reduces chaos. When you accept the weight instead of resisting it, it becomes stability. God congratulates you because you are now standing in a place where your choices shape your future more directly. This is power, but power without responsibility destroys. Power with responsibility builds. So do not treat congratulations lightly. Do not rush to celebrate. Do not assume comfort. Bow inwardly. Acknowledge the trust. Strengthen your discipline. Refine your intentions. Simplify your life where possible. Because from this point forward, life will respond faster. And the one who benefits most from that speed is the one who remains aligned. That is the warning hidden inside the blessing. And if you can accept it, it becomes protection instead of pressure.